Even before we conducted one interview, we were able to get a sense of the mood on 6th Street. These one-way only signs, we were told, have been painted over, replaced and painted over again in just the past 3 days. This big, wide cement street has become a major artery in the residential Kings Park area. In just the past year or two, at least 2 major supermarkets, medium-sized stores and towering apartment buildings have made 6th Street their home, taking advantage of steadily increasing traffic. But now, that traffic has slowed down significantly because on Saturday, March 1st, City Hall directed that the street would now be one-way only. The outcry has been immediate.
Affect our business, because customers usually come take this way, take that way for come in, but right now, it affect quick. Everybody have to go all the way around for come check the business, So
it just started Saturday. You all done the city effect of it already?
Well, as you can see in the yard, it peel. So it done the same effect that, the workout.
Today, traffic officers were on duty to turn back motorists and cyclists who have not gotten used to the new street rule. People are not happy, and the traffic officers on duty have been getting an earful. One of the most vocal protests is coming from K Park Supermarket. The owners have made significant investment recently, and now they claim that their dividends will be cut.
This 6th Street never designed for one-way street. That will affect our business, and you know how this time have a lot of competition on grocery stores, and they have up this street they open a new supermarket, a big supermarket, and I have a 2 parking lot. We don't have no problem with parking lot. I have a 1 parking lot across there. I have a parking lot right front of the K Park, and I have a parking lot other side.
With the new rules, there will be no customers for these businesses coming from St. Thomas Street, a major boulevard which is heavily trafficked. Customers will now have to divert onto smaller streets and approach from the other side. K Park's manager, Dinesh Keshwani, feels that with so much competition, people will just go to other supermarkets rather than endure the hassle. Since Saturday, they have started a petition which will be delivered to City Hall.
We may have some letters, we may write the letters to the City Council, and we may drop some letters on Friday. 20 to 25 letters we may drop.
So a lot of the customers have been complaining?
Yes, sir. Because they have to take a big round for coming to K Park, and they doesn't want to come in K Park afterwards. They do it one-way street.
But while sentiment is strong, there is some good news, or possible good news. Mayor Darrell Bradley says that the system has been implemented for only 1 month. At the end of that month, 3 things can happen. 1, the system will stay as is. 2, they will change the direction of the one-way traffic flow. Or 3, they will revert back to 2-way traffic. Bradley says they are just trying to find a way to deal with congestion before somebody gets hurt or killed in traffic.
The difficulty with 6th Street is that that is a street which is heavily congested. We had taken a decision to concrete the street, and we have improved the infrastructure there, and we see that the problem has gotten worse because sometimes people take the streets, the concreted streets, as racetracks. What we see on that street is that there is a heavy congestion of businesses, and the street has no sidewalk, it has no bike path, it has a school that's located right at the corner, and it presents a present and imminent danger to the public, and we are very fearful that there would be an accident there sometime. What we're doing with this decision in terms of making the street one way is that we've decided to put this in place for a month period to assess whether or not that has some impact in easing the congestion along the area.
I say no reason for that. The street is wide, but when the shadow just control the parking, no double parking, and just make it keep see this double parking now, that never should happen, Just make people park on one side, then it could still go 2-way.
I will readily accept that that's a real criticism, and the city has major problems and weaknesses in enforcement. The problem is that we cannot station any traffic officers there for any prolonged period. We can't do that. So that what we try to do in many cases, this is why we favor roundabouts. It's a situation that needs very little involvement in terms of the enforcement of physical personnel. We cannot afford to place 1 or 2 traffic officers there for any continuous period of time. The reality is that even if you make it alternative parking, What we are trying to do is to assess the need in the area. There is a lot of businesses in that area and they need double parking. So that whatever you do in many decisions, like what we did in the downtown and in other areas, it's going to cause inconvenience to some person.
Commuters and business owners we spoke to say that one of the big problems is the school at the corner of St. Thomas and 6th Streets. The mayor agrees that that is a real concern where traffic congestion is concerned and says he has tried to talk to the Ministry of Education about that. So with that said, the unhappy 6th Street Club will just have to wait out the month. But on a positive note, the mayor says that all input will be factored into the final decision. Mike Rodon for News 5.